Hi guys, welcome to another Divi theme video. This is Jamie from System22 and webdesignandtechtips.com. Well, in our last video, we did a little tab here that when you hovered over it, dropped down and expanded a little blurb module just like that. We had a question on that one. Somebody was asking, well, can you, instead of having it push the content down, can you have it raise up from there? So if we look below here, I've got a little icon there. When I hover over, it's going to pop up a little bit of content, put a little dark background there. Again, when you take it anywhere off, it's going to disappear back down there. Really easy to do. Again, there's no coding involved in this today. So let's get started. I'm going to enable the Visual Builder. Then I'm going to roll down and I'll get rid of what I've got going on there. And also, I'm just going to make one little adjustment to the row below to take it back to its default state. Great. Well, we're going to have it roll up over this little section here. You can do this anywhere you want. So I'm going to add a new little row, little green button to add a row. I'm going to put a single column in mine. As I want to have a little icon there initially, I'm just going to roll down and add an icon. There we go. Now let's add an info icon or whatever pertains to whatever it is you're doing. As you can see, it's down there. Let's just roll this up a little bit. Great. Well, I'm going to want that white in color so it stands out better against this background here. So over in design, I'm going to go down to icon. I'm going to make it white. I'm going to make mine about 40 pixels. You can use the slider or you can type in a value. Just put in the 40. It'll put in the pixels for you. That's about the right size for me. Great. So that's my little trigger that I want to use to pop it up with. Now for the content, you can put in anything you want. I'm going to put a simple call to action module in there. Hit the little dark button there. Add a new module, call to action. There it is right there. I guess I'll decorate it a little bit like I did with my other one. I'm sure you know how to put your title, content and button in there. You may notice there's no button. Button's not going to show up until you put a link in for the button. I'm just hashtag in for a placeholder. And as you can see, it's turned up there. That's great. Well, let's just decorate this a little bit. I'm going to make the background purple. And I'm going to blend it with a quick image here. Pop the image in. And to blend it, while you're on the image, just go down a little bit. Background image blend. I'm going to multiply mine with the actual color. And it's that sort of purple color. You can read that writing and everything. Everything looks good there. Fantastic. Great. Like I say, this will work with any module. Put in any module that you want to do this. And you can stack them on top of each other if you want. More than one modules. You could have a call to action, a contact form, and some info. Whatever you want to put in yours. Well, now we've got it there. Let's adjust it and put it actually where we want it. Because all I want to see initially is this icon here. Let's go into the row, green tab for the row, over to design. Okay, first thing I want to do is I want to give this a little bit of padding and then a background color for when it's popped up because it'll be over the top of this stuff up here. So I want a little background only on the hover state so that it stands out a bit more. So first thing I'm going to do is add a bit of spacing, design, spacing, padding, top, bottom, left, right. I'm going to give it 30 pixels all around. Just put in the 30. It'll put in the PX for you. Same with the left and right. Just to show you what's going on, let's go to the background there. Over to content, down to background. Always find background in content. I'm going to make mine black. 30 pixels. I put in 30 pixels top, bottom, left and right there. As you can see. But like I say, I don't want to see anything initially. So I'm going to click on the color field and I'm going to drag this variegated slider all the way down to the bottom, the opacity, so that black is transparent. But when we hover over it, I want to bring that back a bit. Not all the way, maybe 50%. Common to all Divi modules. If you roll over the dark writing within a module, you'll see some little icons appear. There's a little arrow. We can create a hover effect. You've got two tabs, desktop, when the mouse is not on it, and a hover, obviously, when the mouse is on it. Well, when the mouse is not on it, that's what we want to see there, color-wise. When the mouse is on it, click on the arrow. You put a completely different value or color or whatever it is in. So I'm going to click on the field again. Just going to bring that opacity about halfway up. So there's a bit of a background in there. When this is up over the top of this, it'll dull that out a little bit. Fantastic. Well, now we need to actually position this to where we want it to make it pop up. Still in the row settings, let's go over to advanced. And again, this is common to all modules. We need to go down to position. This is where you'll find position. I'm going to change mine from relative to absolute. That means we can position it anywhere we want within the parent container. The parent container is the actual section we've got in it. And you may notice it's up the top left at the moment. I want mine to be bottom middle. So I'm going to click on the little matrix and it's in the middle at the bottom, but it's behind our little modules there. So we have to adjust the z-index to bring it on front. Z-index dictates how modules stack on top of each other. Something with a higher number z-index will always appear on top of something with a lower number. So that's always got a lower number and these have got a higher number. So let's just slide this up until it pops on top. There we go. We're on top there. 31's fine. There's that little background that's going to dark it out. But I only want to see this bit when we're hovering over it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my vertical offset to bring it down so I can just see the icon here. Something like that. Now, if you're going to use this on tablet and mobile, it will work. They'll have to tap on the icon, though. You may want to adjust this separately for tablet and phone if you're using it. So hover over the dark writing, hit the little phone type icon. You can click on tablet. We've rolled down to where we are. There's our little icon, a little too high there. So we can take it down a little bit more on tablet. The great thing about this is you can have completely different settings for each. And we'll have a look on the phone. And we need to take it down quite a bit more because it stretches as it's taller on a phone. So let's take that down a little bit more and put it where we want it. Somewhere like there. That's great. When you're happy, you can take your responsive settings off. Let's roll on down. Great. So that's in the right place for all of our responsive devices. So that's what we're going to see when they're not hovering over it. When they hover over it, let's get this up. Little arrow. Click on the hover. We want that to be 0, back to where it was originally. If I put a 0 in there, you'll see it slides up. Fantastic, just what we want. Now the time it takes to go from desktop, when it's down there, to hover when it's up here, by default with Divi is 300 mils. I'm going to slow this down for a bit of drama. To do that, still in the advanced, let's close up position, and you'll see transitions just above it. There's the default 300. I'm going to make mine about 3/4 of a second. I'm going to have a little bit of a transition delay, say 50 mil. So that way, if they're just scrolling around, their mouse touches it, it's not going to trigger as they go across it. But if they put their mouse on it, after 50 mils, it will trigger. And the speed curve I like to use for my hover effects is ease in, ease out. Fantastic. Well, let's save that. And of course, we've got one little problem. We don't want to see this content down here. It's just covering up this stuff. All I want to see is the icon. So what we've got to do is make sure this section is on top of our content there. That way this will slide down behind it. And I'm sure you figured that out already because of what we did before. We just need to adjust the z-index of this section. So go into your section. You want to make sure your section's actually got a background in there. I've got a white background on mine, as you can see. Default sections sometimes don't have a color at all. So the modules will still hide behind it if you've got no background, but you'll see this spilling out over. So make sure you've got a background in there. Then we can go over to our advanced and down to position. Remember, position's always under advanced. Here's our z-index. It's set to auto. As soon as I start flipping this, it's going to hide behind it, because I think that was like 25 or something, was it? Yeah. So as soon as we go past 25 or so, it's going to disappear behind there. And that's just exactly what we want. Great. So if we've done everything correctly now, this should now work for us. Let's save our changes here. Save the page changes down the bottom, little purple button. Save draft or publish if you're ready. Let's exit the Visual Builder. We'll roll down to where we want to work, or where we were working, I should say. There's our little icon. When I roll over it, that content's going to pop up there. When we take it off, it's going to go down. Let's do that again. We'll roll over it. Content's up there. We've got our little background. They can scroll, they can read, they can click the call to action button. Like I say, you can have more content below. Make it whatever size you want yours. And as you can see, it's hiding behind this little section down below. So there you go. I hope that answers that little question of how to make a little section pop up over another section rather than push it down. Really easy to do. No coding or plugins involved at all. Nice little interactive feature to have on your website. So I hope you've enjoyed this today and found it useful. Don't forget, if you have any questions, pop them down below. I'll do my best to answer them or make a little demo video just like this one. Once again, this has been Jamie from System22 and webdesignandtechtips.com. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.